Hi, this is Steve Vanderbilt, Citizens United for Change. I'm going to talk today about the BP problem in the Gulf. We've stayed pretty quiet on this for the last 70, 80 days or so for a couple reasons. I wanted to look at this from a business standpoint. Over the last week or so, President Obama steps up and asks BP to pony up $20 billion into a trust fund to take care of claims for people living in the Gulf states. Let's really break this down for a little bit. That's $5 billion over 4 years. BP pops up this morning and is said to be looking for a $5 billion loan from banks. Let's really look at this. The long-term ecological damage to the Gulf between depletion of oxygen, oil around the oceans, $20 billion is going to be a drop in the bucket. This disaster is costing the U.S. economy trillions of dollars and will for decades to come. Obama's standpoint of asking BP to put $20 billion into a trust fund, purely political, doesn't have a legal leg to stand on in requesting it, is in violation of federal law, it's in violation of international law, and it is a big political scam. Now it's really interesting if you go back and look at exactly who one of Obama's biggest contributors are in the campaign side of the equation, both at the state level and at the federal level for Senate, and then also at the White House, you guessed it, BP. What we're going to be looking at doing here is we're actually asking you and the people listening to this video to do two things. Boycott BP completely. Go to another vendor. Second thing we're going to ask you to do, write letters to Congress. Tell them to reimpose the Glass-Steagall Act, because the cost of oil being speculated right now is about $30 a barrel. Just got off the phone with a friend of mine who's an senior analyst for the industry. Straight across board speculation at today's rate at $75 a barrel. Oil should be trading today at $45 a barrel. So the big banks and the big oil companies are speculating the oil, turning profits left over right, trillions of dollars on an annual basis. You do the math. $20 billion over 4 years, cost doing business. The spin has begun. What is about to happen is the entire ecological system of the Gulf Coast, where we get most of our shrimp, a great deal of our seafood from the East Coast, the Grand Banks, etc., are about to be destroyed. This oil that's being spilled out produces 40% methane, where the average rig produces 5%, 40%. Almost half of what's put out in those 60,000 barrels or 2.4 million barrels of oil a day is almost the same amount of methane gas. Methane quickly depletes oxygen in oil, oxygen in the air and in the water. It's a flammable gas. In concentrations, it's toxic. Have you gotten this yet? The federal government got in the way of time-tested methodologies of shutting an oil rig down. They did it for political reasons. BP leased the ship that went down, the Horizon. It leased it. We're going to be coming out with you and telling you exactly what the insurance policy was on that vessel. And when you hear that, as I've heard, third-party, non-verified, you're going to be angry. You're going to be very angry. The tried and true method of capping a well that's a runaway well with heavy mud was not allowed by two senior executives at BP, was signed off by the same chairman and chief executive officer that testified yesterday on the Hill. You heard that here first. These are unconfirmed allegations, but we're going to confirm them. If you've had a fish sandwich in the last year, it likely came out of the Gulf or out of waters that are being contaminated right now. If you had a shrimp cocktail in the last year, it came from the same waters being contaminated. There are two scientific schools of thought out there regarding toxic rain. One school of thought is saying that the chemicals in the ocean don't transport solar evaporation, and the water coming out of the clouds should be pure. Another school of thought says because of the concentration of methane in the oil, the trace toxic gases will be lifted into the water, and therefore the water coming down will be toxic. There have been reports of rain squalls in Florida, along the Florida coast, where after it rains, grass dies. If you have a video of that, send it to us. If you are in a situation where you're able to catch rain, catch it. We need about 16 ounces of water, and we need you to videotape that it's actually where it comes from, your catchment activity. But for today, I'm Steve Vanderbilt for Citizens United for Change. If you have any information to send to us, go to our website, hit our comments link, send us an email, or send it to my email address at steve.vanderbilt@regimechange.org. That's steve.vanderbilt@regimechange.org. Have a good day.